Now this is my garden tap, and it's not your cheapo ones you get as a outdoor kit that you drill a hole through the wall and you get a tap and a connector and that, and you plumb into your wash basin on the other side of the wall or whatever. This is a British Pegler tap made by what these days called the Pegler Yorkshire company or something like that. And the name Pegler is actually quite important. It's one of my other main interests, railways. It's the company Pegler was originally started in, I don't know, 18 something by Alan Pegler's grandfather, no sorry, great grandfather. And Alan Pegler, you may have heard of him, he's now dead, but he was the man who saved the Flying Scotsman locomotive, and the reason we've got it today, I guess. Anyway, that's just a bit of interesting information. The reason I'm filming this tap is it's a very good quality tap. You can buy them in Screwfix or Toolstation for about 22 quid now, but if you bought them from Pegler themselves, they're like 58 quid, so they're worth saving. And you're thinking, well, what are you saving it for? Just a tap. Well, it's got a double shut-off valve made of plastic and rubber and bits of stainless and things internally to stop backflow from the hose, the nearby hose, which I've detached from it. But they have an Achilles heel, I found, but this is not my first one. They're liable to frost damage internally that causes it to jam, because I've mended one already, which I'll show you, and that's what this video is about. They're too expensive to throw away and put another one on, so I'll show you, hopefully it's exactly the same as the last one, and I can show you how to mend this. But as you can see, if I turn it on, or try to turn it on, it just doesn't work. So that one's jammed for some reason. Right, turn it on, see, look, nothing, no water comes out of it at all, because it's jammed either. I think it's there, on the inside of the body there, that valve there. So I turn it off, make sure that's turned off, and I shall go and turn off the water off at the mains. There's a typical British water meter that we know all now have, or most of us have, and I've got to turn it off. So how am I going to do this? There's ants crawling around on it down there. So first thing I'll do is lift this thing off, this foam bit, which is supposed to keep ants and the like out. And down the bottom there you'll see a lever. Now with the aid of this thing here, go down there. It should just, now which way do you turn it? That way. Oop, there you go. It should just turn 90 degrees like that, and it should be off, he hopes. Right, I'll leave it there so people realise that I'm working on it. A bit wobbly on the filming there. Right, I'll go and take the tap off the wall now then. Right, the water's been turned off. I'll put the tools down there, and the first thing to do is take this contraption off of here, which should just come undone. It hopes. Yeah, it is. With the aid of that PTFE tape always helps. I don't need that for the repair. Put that up here outright. Right. Right. Probably could just turn the tap actually. But if you're not, then you want to use one of these. Where are we? There we go. This is a good old tool. What is it? Vauxhall. See? I restored it, derusted it. That's like probably a 1930s car. You don't see these much. It's much easier for getting in things like that down there than those angled things with angled heads. Just loosen it off. That's all you need to do, and unscrew it. And I'll stand it to one side in case a load of water rushes out. Hopefully with nothing happening. A bit of water there. So that drain a minute. See if it slows down, back off any pressure that might be in the pipe behind it. There's only one day of frost, I think, or maybe two, or -10 or something, Only lasted 2 days for the whole winter. As it went to 2023-24. It's now mid-April 24. It's taken a long time to get around to this. Oh, there we go. That's basically off, isn't it? Just draining, so there it is. Okay, and I think hopefully I know what's the matter with it. Is the inside? That's the problem. That plastic valve in there. I'll show you in a minute on the outside workbench. Hopefully how to mend that. It's very easy if it's what I think it is. So, right, here's the one I've just taken off. Yeah. And I bought this one because it's one I made earlier, sort of thing. This one went wrong. Had exactly the same issue. So I bought this thinking I'd have to throw this one away, but I kept it for a while just to see if I could mend it by poking around inside that valve thing. And if you look closely, I don't know if you can see at angles, this is a good one that I mended, and you can see that inner valve bit is a lot more recessed than this one, the one I've just taken off the wall. And what happens, I think, is that any ice gets behind it. I'll use my pointy stick over here. Come here, you. Right. Ice gets in here behind it and pushes this middle bit so hard it pops out beyond its seating face on that rubber. It pushes it through the rubber. Ice expands. Pretty powerful ice is expanding. So, but of course then the spring inside it can't pull it back again. So all I think you have to do to mend it is with a blunt ended thing. I use this sort of could fit in there, see? Let's see if this works. I'll put it down here, you can see. I'll hold the screwdriver in the middle and just push. I think. Is that how I did it? He says, is this not doing it? Well, I'm pretty sure I said I did it before. I'll try again. Hold it down here and push. If it breaks, it breaks. There you go. Bang. See? And now, hopefully, that should spring. There you go. See? Let's get it close. Yeah, you've got to give it a bit of wet welly. Where are we? Can we see here? There. See, look. It goes in and out again now. Like that. Ta-da. That's all there is to it. So, I suppose what I should have done is put one of those foam things around it in the winter, but I've never ever done that in my whole life. So, shake the water out of it. There we go. That's all there is to it. That should now still turn. Yeah. Yeah, it's coming out. I can see it moving out there. I can see it moving in. So that bit's still working. So, I suppose ideally I need to put this one back just to prove to you that that has worked. Even though I prefer that the previous tap was better. That's a much smoother end. That goes around beautifully, that one, and I prefer this one, so I'll put this one back actually. That's our main outdoor tap. Okay, so wait there a minute and we do that. Oh, the tap comes with one of these, but of course these days you use those click-on things for the hose pipes. You don't use those anymore, but I'm not going to throw it away. There must be one for this somewhere floating around, probably in the shed behind me just there. That's a shed. So we'll pause there and I'll put it back again. Right, so the first thing to do is to wrap some of this stuff around it, isn't it? So you screw in that way, turn it anti-clockwise, screw it in. So you want the tape to go that way around. So I've just seen a bloke on YouTube do something interesting. Let's put that to one side of the thing. He twiddled this up first into like a rope for the first few turns to get in the thread like that. So I've never done this way before. And then put it in the first thread and wrap it around like a rope. Oops, I can get it to start and get it to grip. So you can see. The tricky bit is holding it still. So you get the first turn in. Oh, now I've dropped it in there, great. Never mind this. Oh god, this is bloody awkward, isn't it? Why did he say that? Makes it really difficult. Anyway, get it going around there the best you can, and then go around with it. There's a tape like that. Can you what can you see? I don't know. You can see a couple of turns like that. There you go, like that. So you've got the full width. Then pull for a brake. There you go. There we go. Got it round there. Get it out of there. Alright, it's around his foot now. Trying to do things on film when you haven't got a workbench handy. Right, now put it on there and see if it'll go on. Go on you go. Yeah, it goes on alright. Probably get another turn out of it. What you don't want it is it stopped there. Just about right actually. Look at that, right upright. It's tight. Ah, that's handy. If not, then you can. If you find you have a problem, you can always use a pair of these type of things. Where I like that to grip the bit that's attached to the wall, but for some reason like that, and then with a spanner tighten against it. For some reason there's not one screw holding that on. It's just relying on the mortar on the pipe. Stupid builder. Anyway, that seems okay. So now, what's the word? Pause and go and turn the water back on. Right, another thing I've learnt, remember to turn the tap off before you screw it to the wall. Right, so I've turned the water on yet again, and does it work? It does. Yeah, and it's powerful, so good for pressure washers. Does it turn off? Yes, it does. So there you go, just giving it a round with the end of a blunt shaped screwdriver or any other rounded rod, not something pointy or sharp and pointy, will mend it. So there you go. I'll put the rest of it, I'll put the tap I actually want on now. But anyway, as far as the video is concerned, this bit of it's done, if not all of it, I don't know yet. I've just discovered a good test to check that the valves are working internally, because there is two. Very simple, nice rude noise, so a bit hilarious. Don't know what you can see. Just put your lip nice and clean on the end there, clean enough anyway. And blow on it. I presume you can see me. That sounds like an old racing car. That vibration is the bottom. Is that the valve in here? Where are we there? I've just found a secondary fault with that tap with a nicer turning action. So, you know, I've just blown down this one, and it makes that noise, meaning this valve is actuating correctly. Well, I put this one on the wall, turn the tap on, and it just dribbled out. I thought, hello, something's wrong with the other valve. So that looks like it's just turned on a bit of brass, but it's a very good joint net. I thought, well, how did they get that valve in there? Because I can see it's undercut. There's no way you can put it in this way. It has to go in that way. So I looked very closely at this machine bit and saw that there was a slight joint there. So I put that in the vise. So the vise joys held it on the corner, and with a hide mallet or or dead blow hammer I've got, just gave it a gentle knock a few times, and you notice it turned. So I took it off. And there it is, it came off. Yeah, it was Loctited on with a more heavy duty thread locker to waterproof it, I suppose. And this bit just slides out. There it is, there's the valve, that's what you see in the end, right? Turn it round and look what I found. Where are we? There we go. The internal O-ring somehow has snapped and has got jammed between the internal and the external moving parts. So I can't see work out quite how to take that out, but I know this company Pegler. If you go on their website, and I will provide a link to this tap in the description section, and on that page you will look down, you'll find spares, and maybe you can buy that part, or you can buy another tap. It's up to you, but that looks a bit dodgy, so I may be buying another spare part, because I don't need this other tap right now, as I have two. So I'll put the one I didn't really want back on, and then put this one back together and look for how that can come apart, or if not, I'll just buy a new one, because it's made of plastic, and if you start poking it and prodding it, you could damage the waterproof surfaces, and I can't work out how to get that O-ring out of there. I've been trying to pull on it, but you've got to take it apart. It may be a snap together fit. So that blowing down the tap, that is a definite something you have to do. If it makes the noise, you're fine to go. Put the tap back, you're great. If it doesn't, and it's blowing back in your face, you can't, you're just puffing your cheeks out and nothing's coming out. That's with the tap turned on, remember. Do turn the tap on when you do that, in the on position, unwound. If no air comes out, you've got to do some extra work, or get a new one if you haven't got a vise and all that sort of stuff like I have. So I'm glad I found that, because I don't want people who are watching this video and telling me I'm a fraud. There are two valves, and two valves can go wrong, so I'll probably, after I've done this, I'll have to send this to Pegler and point out their problem. It's not frost-proof, yet they've got a 5-year guarantee, by the way. I'll also provide in the description section what model this, well, I'll tell you now, it's called the 142HU, but I will put that in the description section anyway, because you won't remember. Okay, so I've got some more work to do there, order some parts. Okay, but we know that this one works. Yeah, so I'll put that back on again, but I don't need to show that on a video, do I? Anyway, more lessons learned. So I'm glad I did this video to find that out. I wouldn't have found that out otherwise. Now, if we go into the bother of taking your tap off, and it's looking a bit cruddy with older, the brass has gone dull, and you got some watermarks, because I live in a hard water area, you might want to just clean it up a bit. So I've just dumped the various bits of the one I'm trying to mend, with the outward valve being a bit dodgy, in a bit of Kilrock K, which is a acid descaler, one made locally in Chesham, which is in the Chiltern Hills in Buckinghamshire. So it just makes it look a little bit more even coloured, see, just takes the nastiness off it. It won't be as bright as when it was brand new. It doesn't need to be, it just wants to look clean, which it now does. It takes the chalky marks off. There you go. Just a little tip. While you get at it, you might as well, it only takes a few minutes to do that in warm water, and then just a little bit of the Kilrock K added to it. The little bits and not nozzly bits at the bottom there. The actual tap interfaces, you know, for them hose pipe interfaces. Clicky things, quick connectors. Yeah, there you go. That's an idea. Not essential. Just me being me. Right, we're back at the model railway workbench, which is a lot easier than in the kitchen or in the shed or outside on the patio, to show you the results of, well, first of all, the acid cleaning, what acid cleaning does to brass, and then to show you what went wrong with that outlet valve, which is located in here. Remember, it has an inlet valve here, that white bit there, which is okay, I mended that, but this one here, you might remember, had a broken O-ring. I'll put it back together and I'll show you it. Now it's all clean. Right, well, as you can see, the tap is the Pegler tap here, obviously. That's come up very well after the acid. Looks as good as brand new, almost. And you can see the difference between castings. This is obviously a good quality casting. It's supposed to be a corrosion resistant brass. Most are anyway. But however, this is one of those cheapo brass parts you get from garden centres and the like. And look at the difference between the cast colours on the two. This has definitely got well, the copper's come to the surface. It doesn't look brass anymore compared with the machine brass bits that you put on the end of them, which with the aid of an old toothbrush comes up quite well. And the machine parts on this are also, that bit comes up quite well. So we take that bit off, and even their spout, you see, has an O-ring as well to stop it leaking. It's all good stuff. But we don't use that when we put that on there like that. So, but the video is about this, it's not about that. But that was mainly to show the quality you get with a known brand versus who knows where that came from. And that has also got an Achilles heel. Notice the rust in the screw holes there. Why didn't they use stainless steel screws? Why ruin, as I say, ruin a ship for an apron for tar? Should be stainless steel. Never mind. Anyway, as this, as you can see, has got that valve, which I have taken out, and I found what's wrong with it. That broken O-ring, which you saw in an earlier part of the video. So what I did to take that out was to, what do I do now? I gripped that bit in soft jaws in a vise, and I hit it like that, and it was Loctited on, and eventually I got it off and wire brushed off the lock. So when you take that out, you'll have a proper tap with a full bore. Anyway, there's the bit. There's which is like a little module. Now, I need to give that a poke to get that out of there. I'll do it. Let's give it a poke with that. Should push it out. Some blunt object. There it is, which you saw earlier anyway. Just sealed in its own O-ring. And that's what it looks like. And the valve, now I've actually taken it apart already to investigate it. It does actually now, it moves, but it will never work again, which I'll show you in a minute why. Right, and it does come apart. There is, if you can see in the light, there's a little die split line, not a split line, just there. And to get it apart, it's a simple job. Put a penknife in that split. How do we do it? And carefully, it should come apart. Yeah, like that, all over the place. Springs just disappeared out, but I'll show you pictures of that later. Here's the other bit. Springs disappeared, never mind. Came across too, but as you can see, there's the problem. The O-ring split just comes off, completely split. So I've got some still pictures already taken of this, but I can't repair it, because if I could change the O-ring, I could put it back together again, but I can't, because these wings here, there's 3 of these wings, see them? 1, 2, 3. See it against my hands, you can't see them. Now you can see it against the green. See those 3 wing things sticking out? Well, if you look at it at that angle, they're angled backwards, and one of them's cracked. That one, you can see. I can't get that close. Anyway, I've done a close-up picture. You can see a split there. The ice has pushed it so far, it's bent them backwards and split. So it's you can't mend it. But as this is the output to the tap, who says we want it anyway? Just push them aside, those parts. And I did ring up the manufacturer, Pegler, they actually got a line. You can't replace that. They don't do that as a spare. They do this bit as a spare though. Not that I think that's going to go wrong. It's built like a tank. But this bit, I suppose, you then got to Loctite that together, which I can do, and then you basically have a smooth bore, which will give you more water output. This is the more important one. You still got the non-return valve into the house, or wherever the water's coming from. So I don't know. Even they couldn't really answer why they designed it with 2. So as it's an outside tap, and especially like me, want to use it for a pressure washer with as much water flow you can get, gallons per minute, or gallons per hour, whatever, litres per minute if you're metric. I'm not really, but you don't need that part. So I'm going to Loctite it together with some medium grade Loctite. This is one of Loctite's main competitors, Permabond. Got it from work when it was out of date for aerospace, but you can buy such. So I suppose it's equivalent to nut lock rather than screw lock. Just a little bit of that on there. And screw it on. Wiggle it about a bit so it spreads around the threads. There you go. You can see it's all blue all the way around now. Yeah. And you leave that overnight, and that should be reasonably tight. It only needs to be tight enough that when you screw that on, that screws on there, and it doesn't sort of, or when you unscrew it, it doesn't unscrew here. You want it to unscrew there. So that, I suppose, explains that. And maybe Pegler can might even see this video and think, why have we done that? I have actually told them that they've got a weakness with that O-ring. It's designed for an outside tap. They sell it to, say, screw fix and tool station, and everybody's going to use it as a garden tap. It's going to be outside. It's going to get frost in the winter. It's going to this problem's going to happen over and over and over again. So if they can remove that, not put it in the design in the first place, it saved them money, and we wouldn't even notice a difference. But at least if it gets ice in it, the ice has got somewhere to expand out of, not to try to burst its way out the weak plastics, which I think, looking at the shape and colour of it, it's probably Delrin, which is quite an engineering plastic, quite strong, but not that strong. Okay, so leave the video there, I suppose, for this part. Be some stills to look at later of close-ups of stuff and that. Okay, thank you.